Hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I hope you guys are doing great. Um, it's a very fitting day that I do this reading on Rosalia, as I am happening to be wearing rosa today. Anyway, somebody wanted me to do a reading on Rosalia. Last time I read on her was when she had done a single collab with Lisa from Blackpink with New Woman, I believe. Yes. And in that song, yeah, just in that song, she was in that song. I can't actually remember that. I've been listening to Ginny too much, honestly. But with Rosalia, we have apparently somebody said that she has broke up with a boyfriend recently over infidelity. I could not find anything about it, at least within this year of 2025. It did seem like towards like the second half, towards like maybe like I'll say like summer slash fall. Yeah, towards like end of summer, fall, maybe even a little bit of in the winter. People are still talking about it, so it seems like it's making its rounds, starting to echo and make its way throughout the internet streets. So with that being said, I'm just going to do a reading on Rosalia and see how she is doing. Period. Since her breakup, maybe that's why she wrote a whole new song about being a new woman with Lisa. But also, she is starring in Euphoria with Zendaya. That I'm definitely excited about. I think I'm going to enjoy that. I enjoy. Well, first, let me catch up on the last season of Euphoria. And then I'll be excited. I don't know. I heard it was. I heard it didn't have too many good reviews. But what's going on, Rosalia? Rosalia. All right. Oh, speaking of a new woman, we got the Empress. I like that. All right. Ooh, the World card. Oh, the Ace of Swords. It's hot in that spot tonight. The Hangman. Ooh. Oh my God, Rosalia, what is going on here? Whew. Okay, I was getting nervous. I was pulling some hot major arcanas for a second. Oh, false alarm. We still got some more major arcana cards. All right, come on, ending. Please tell me. Are you going to be a major or are you going to be a minor? I think that will set the perspective. Yeah, that set the perspective. I understand. That was actually some good resolution right there. So what do I see was going on with Rosalia? I'm not sure if Rosalia is new to acting or if she has done acting before, but it seems like right now she is just in her element. She's in her feminine element. Let me put it that way. Let me be more specific. She's within her feminine era at this moment, in her feminine energy, being truly receptive, being truly receiving from the earth, but truly also nurturing back to the earth. So I shall give, so I shall give back, is what she is feeling. And because of that, life is being fruitful for her and she's being fruitful within her life. She is creating opportunities that are aligning within her, make her find herself. Well, I won't say make her find herself, helps her find herself along the way. The Empress is ever growing, literally. And because of that, it just seems like right now, which is just really great. And because she's a female, for the Empress to show up, it just shows the fact that she is in her queendom era, that she is like the queen, the Empress. She's like the main character in her story. Everything that she's doing, she's like living for herself and nobody else. I mean, the Empress is nurturing and cares about other people, but you know what I mean about not caring about anybody else, like just living for her authentic self and just being present in this exact moment. What do we see beneath her that symbolizes a good foundation for her? The World card, which is very fitting to have as your foundation because that basically symbolizes the world is your oyster. Everything is available and open to you. You just have to tap into it. And also the world. Yep, I see the snake element. The world symbolizes the ends of cycles. The fact that she has a whole lot of major arcana cards coming out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half the cards are major arcana cards. Actually, 60% of the cards are major arcana cards. So that means it's falling a little bit towards heavy, that she's going through some more internal growth. That's why she's the Empress right now. She's blossoming, she's blooming, she's growing into her element. She is becoming that Empress. She's becoming who she truly identifies with and who she truly wants to be and be represented and presented in this world. So presented in this world, literally, the Empress is standing on top of the world, metaphorically and literally. So because of that, she is feeling herself. She is feeling confident with it. Her confidence within herself is growing, is blossoming as the cycle is getting ready to end in this very moment, whether that be with her relationship or whether that be with her career and her taking a new trajectory or just doing something different, or being a part of a show like Euphoria, period, is definitely real. It is definitely giving to the culture, and it's definitely touching on a pulse and getting into real characters that you have to really feel emotions and put yourself in that mindset. But let me see Rosalia's zodiac sign. I should have looked that one up. Is she a Libra? She is the Libra. Okay. So because of that, I do like that. A Libra's you guys know how I feel about Libras. But just to put it down, to, always give a good example of a Libra. We see Libras, I usually talk about how Libras are just a little bit off balance, a little bit too, a little bit too much in something. Either they're too worldly, or they're too in somebody's business, or they're too into themselves and beauty and the glitz and the glam and all loving, doving on themselves. Or they could get lost in just life, what life has to offer, get swept up in it, enjoy the finer things of life. Because of that, that could make sometimes that can bring injustice, because when you know something is good, you really don't want to share it. It's like you begrudgingly you have to share it because you're just which you shouldn't be. It's really gatekeeping. But yeah, all that to say about a Libra. Sorry. All that to say about a Libra here, I see with this World card and the fact that she's a Libra, and I see that she's going through this transformative period within herself. Age, 32. Okay, I like that. Fairly coming out of a Saturn return, not fresh out of a Saturn return, but kind of 2 years post the Saturn return. So that kind of also brings back to the fact that now that she's out of this Saturn return, after she is out of a tricky period to navigate in her life, maybe this is when she had gotten married, found this partner, and it just didn't work out, and they had to get a breakup, and that was just a lesson for her to learn for herself, to value herself, love herself, as Venus says, and brings to finding beauties within others and the things around you, but also finding the beauty within yourself and realizing that you don't need others to complete yourself. You can honestly complete yourself with just some love and some TLC and really soul searching and understanding your strengths and weaknesses, what you're good at, what you're not good at. So that way, when you are in the world and you do interact with other people, you can work with or against their strengths. And that also helps get you in certain that's basically navigating your way through life instead of letting your strengths and weaknesses take over you and like happen when they just like happen and be like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that, that was amazing. No, it's like planned out. It's like, yeah, I knew I could have done that, I just had to put in the time and energy. It's like, hold up, sorry guys, it's honestly my contacts. It's that sense of being finally knowing that you are leading yourself in a certain direction, that you are that it's Rosalia feeling that she's finally leading herself down in a path that feels right for herself, that finally she is taking the initiative to steer the wheel and be in her own lane that she chooses, and not be defined by labels, being pretty fluid as feminine energy is, like water. It's like waves. It's like going. And that's also like air too. Air is also fluid. It goes as it goes. It flows as it flows. Water is basically air in the sky. Air is basically water in the sky, and water is basically air on ground. They both have currents. They both ebbs and flows. They both are influenced by others. So that's where that feminine side thing comes in for both air and water. Air is like masculine, feminine, and then water is feminine, feminine. So the femininity comes from the fact that you are fluid, that you aren't so rigid, that you will allow things to flow naturally and not try to contain it in a sense. So because of that, um I'm so sorry guys. So because of that, this is where this world card is coming in, with her completing a cycle. Now that her Saturn return is over, she's starting a new leaf, finding a new self, finding a new finding a new self within herself. And that's where this Ace of Swords is coming in with that past. She finally had some mental clarity. She finally had to cut some people off. When it comes to her career, she finally figures out maybe what she wants to do, how she wants to go about her career. Maybe if somebody was taking control of her own career, she took the initiative to do things her own way, be her own manager, be the one to judge and screen potential TV shows and things like that. Just being a little bit more proactive when it comes to her career, and being a bit more proactive when it comes to her life. Because we see right here in this moment, in this present moment, we see the Hangman, which is all about taking a sabbatical or taking a break, both from love and from her career. While she is working on Euphoria, everything else basically has to be put on pause. And we know how Euphoria has been going on for the last couple of days. It's basically, you got to drop everything and be at beck and call just in case, because you just don't know what's going to go on the set of Euphoria. So because of that uncertainty, she's like the Hangman. She's put everything on pause, and by putting everything on pause, love, career, music, all those things, because she has put a pause on them so that way she can work on doing Euphoria. She is also at the same time using this as a breather, a moment to really take some time in solidarity and solitude, and get to know herself and be comfortable with herself as she's explored these themes and characters of Euphoria, and have to get into that mental and into that mindset to be able to embody and make these characters feel real, where the audience starts feeling for these characters and actually really gets mad at production for the way they to like fall flat on some of the character development. So that all that is going on with Euphoria. She's coming into a pretty established fan base. It's weak at the moment, but a pretty established fan base. And because of that, she wants to perform and she wants to give it her best. And maybe she's a fan of Euphoria, and this is a dream for her to be also on Euphoria as well, just as it might be for some other cast members as well. But at this time, she is really not too focused on anything besides herself, and not in a selfish way, but in a I need to work and heal and be with myself sense. And that's where this Temperance card comes in the future. We see here with the Temperance symbolizing finding that balance. Speaking of balance and scales, just like the Justice card, just like Lady Justice is for the Libra. But we see here with the Temperance card, it is actually usually a fire card, which is quite interesting with all this earth energy. The Hangman is a water energy. It's Neptune. And Neptune is all about delusions, but also being able to see past those delusions. You got to get a little delusional to think outside of this world. Because if you, I think it was like some famous quote, like in physics, like if you think that it's like easier, like it makes sense. Oh yes, it's quantum mechanics talking about if you think that it actually makes sense, you're not understanding it. Because basically when you think you actually understand something energy wise, like metaphorically here, energetic wise, when you think that you understand something you can't see, but you were observing it through your senses, yeah, it's not going to make sense to you because you're relying on things that aren't really logical. You're relying on things that are much more sensual, spiritual. So because of that, which is another thing that a Libra has to balance, finding that duality. I see that Rosalia seems to have a sense of a spiritual background that she leans on and goes to whenever she needs to fall back on something to anchor herself with, when she could be getting lost and tied up in the music industry. And that brings her back into balance and and it allows her to be able to like see clearly, because here we see in the Fear card, she feels like she fears like she's missing out on something, that she is overlooking something, that just because she went through a divorce and she thought that maybe she had the love of her life and she thought that this was the one, the end all be all, maybe she put like all her eggs in the baskets and she feels like she's lost something in this, and that's why she had to go walk about and find herself. But in real reality, she got the biggest, greatest gift ever, and that's knowing who she is. And when you're able to take a stance against something before that you were afraid of losing because you think that you're not going to be able to survive on your own, like the Empress, so you cling onto it longer than you need to. And just like the Hangman and just like the World card, you get stuck in a perpetual loop of doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, and you're not getting the results that you're looking for. So it's time to take that sabbatical. It's time to cut off at the root where the source that's not clicking or fitting. You gotta move it out. You gotta find the temperance. Gotta work with it. If you can't, instead of working against it, work with it at least. That's the most you can do to help the energy, is work with it. Because at least if you work with it, it's not going to take you over like a wave. Like, you know how when you're trying to like stand up against the wave and it like pushes you and you're just like, no, you're not going to push me. But then like one wave just comes a little too strong and you literally get the, yeah, that. that. Don't allow that to be your energy. And that's what Rosalia is trying to flow. Speaking of fluidity and water, ironically, and this Eight of Cups, that's how she was feeling. Like she was fighting the flow, and she is now going with the flow. And instead of being like yeeted out, literally, she is more like gracefully falling with like, oh, like just in the element, like unfazed, unbothered, not shocked, not taken off guard, because she's solid within herself. And we see here the hopes is the Hierophant, speaking of seeking refuge to a higher source, a divine that can help her out and figure out how to maneuver in this physical reality when when the Hierophant gives you the keys when you are worthy. It's like the Sphinx. It's, are you wise? Are you ready? Are you really thinking outside of the box? Like, are you not allowing yourself to be confined? Because if you're allowing yourself to be confined, I mean, this card also talks about conformity. There has to be some conformity here. Speaking of Saturn, literally right here, this is where her hopes card is that she actually learned her lessons from her Saturn return. 8 Saturn returns can only go one or two ways. You go with your flow of your Saturn return and learn the lessons and take it at its face value, or you fight your Saturn return and you try to take control over your life and basically say I'm not going to allow destiny to rule over me. I have my own free will power and nothing's going to define me. It can go either two ways. That's for all three of your Saturn returns. Next one's at 50, and the next one's towards 80. So these Saturn returns really do mean something. So she came out wiser, like the World card said, came out wiser at the end of this lesson, at the end of this return, that she's going to take with her in this next chapter, this next 25 years, 28 years of her life. She's going to take, implement, and work and maneuver. And through that, she's going to find more parts about herself that she didn't know that was there before, that she's going to grow into. We are ever evolving and growing into who we are. We are never a static person. We are forever changing. I mean, some people are stagnant. Just sorry for that, for those that are. And stagnant, and not in a good stagnant, like, anyway. But we see here what people, friends, family, loved ones feel for Rosalia is the 8 of Pentacles, which is a very great card because she's being very meticulous. She's being very careful. She's weaving it in. She's putting the energy. She is that Empress. Whatever work she is putting in, it is coming to fruition. It is going to show. Whatever she has been crafting at, whatever she is putting her energy, her work, her dedication, her grace, her elegance, her beauty into, literally is going to show. As it says right above her head, the outcome card, temperance and judgment. It can't get any better than that. Temperance, everything in balance. The scales of Libra is beautifully in harmony, and the judgment rising like the phoenix when things were cloudy, when things were down in the dumps. You came out beautifully, you came out gracefully. That is what I'm seeing with Rosalia. Both how she is feeling post this breakup, however long ago it was, within this last, I'll say 6 months that she had this breakup. This is how she's feeling post breakup, and this is how she is feeling about her career and what her future is looking like. She is hopeful. She is trusting the universe to lead her, guide her. I should be in euphoria. I will be in euphoria. This is where I need to be right now. Then this is where I'm going to be right now. Being present in the moment. so that way she can really enjoy and take in everything that she needs to take in. I'm not sure if she was somebody that just was like lackadaisical and just like went through life without really experiencing it, but it seems like something within her changed internally that has made her completely do a 360, the world card, literally do a 360 and come out and emerge as somebody and putting in the work too. Because sometimes people change, but they don't really put the work to put it out. So they haven't fully done the change. Like they've done about like 70% of the change, but it's not like a full 100%. But it seems like Rosalia is definitely putting in that 100% that she's like, I want to be recognized. I want to be seen. The old Rosalia is dead and gone. I'm this new woman. I'm on this new journey. So with that being said, it's great. It's good. I love that. I hope you enjoyed this reading on Rosalia. I sure did. Please leave your comments down below. How do you feel about her and her recent breakup? How do you feel about her being on Euphoria? Please check out my reading on Zendaya, the real main lead of Euphoria, because I did how Zendaya felt returning back to Euphoria now that I know that she is a co-producer. So with that being said, go get your Euphoria fill. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Please check out my other reading on Rosalia as well that I did too, just like a month or two ago when she had done that collaboration with Lisa. So with that being said, I hope to see you sunflowers in the next one. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already. That would really mean a lot to the channel. I really appreciate it. Please and thank you. I will be doing, speaking of K-pop, I will be doing a reading on Lisa and Lisa and Jennie. I'm going to be doing a reading on Lisa and Jennie. So if you're into Blackpink, please check that out and stick around. All right. With that being said, also check out my other Blackpink readings. Okay. With that being said, all shameless promotion out the way. Please give this video a thumbs up if you stayed up through that. And I hope you enjoy my promotion and go check out those videos I was just talking about. So with that being said, I hope to see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers.